Greetings. Today we're going to talk about writing a problem statement, which is the Module 3 presentation. In this presentation, we're going to define what the problem statement is, the content within a problem statement, talk about some tips for writing the problem statement, and then talk about the chart that you can use to help you draft the problem statement. The problem statement is also known as a statement of need or a needs statement. So sometimes in grant proposals or requests for proposals, you'll see that it's called something else, but it's all the same thing. Essentially what it does is it sets the framework for an entire proposal. And what that means is that you describe the condition or need affecting certain people or things in a specific time and place. And it must be bolstered by statistics combined with qualitative data that makes the need personal. So you're always going to try to strengthen your argument with statistics, but then especially if this is an organizational grant or a community or nonprofit type grant, you're going to want to include those anecdotes, those impactful stories and observations, which are tended to be called qualitative. And the whole goal is that you want to set up perfectly the goals of your grant proposal. That because of this problem, and this problem that is very urgent, you need to fund my grant because the goals within my grant will meet the needs or the problem. So some of the content of the problem statement is, one, the needs have to have a clear relationship with the funders or the organization's mission and purpose. The problem statement should focus on the organization, on those that the organization serves, not on the needs of the organization. So you always want to make sure it's focused on the people or the thing that the organization serves. Your assertions should be well supported with evidence. And by evidence, typically what we mean is some type of statistic or statistics, expert views, and maybe also citing some of the recent trends. There must be a direct connection between their need and your ability to meet that need. And so the problem statement is a perfect place for you to mention these things. And of course, like a lot of things with the grant, it must be easy to read with no jargon. And if you can include graphs and charts, that's a big plus. Some tips when writing. One is to use statistics that are clear and related. Also, it's really important to use comparative research, which means you would look and see, are there, like let's say it's a community grant and it's something to do with improving housing conditions. Then you would want to try to find where someone had done something similar within a community that you're seeking to do within this particular community and show the effects of that, right? So that would be a comparative research. You also want to make sure that you quote the right authorities. In these particular grant proposals and the people that are reviewing them, they know who the authorities and the experts are, and they're going to be looking to see if you mention those individuals' research or those projects. You also want to be very, very careful that you make sure that the data that you're providing is real data. So what I always encourage is that you triangulate any of the information that you put on there. Even if it's quotes, you want to make sure that this is something that you can get from a multitude of sources and all those sources are reliable. If it is kind of a nonprofit or a community type grant or an organization, using those touching anecdotal stories can really have an impact, because remember, in those particular instances, we're talking about human beings that are working for organizations that really want to see the people that the organization serves be bettered in some way. And so we want to touch on that nerve. Also, it's important that we give within the problem statement a clear sense of urgency, that this is something that is needed and it needs to be funded immediately. So your book, at least on the online version of the book, has a great little table or spreadsheet that you may want to open and mess around with as you start to draft your problem statement. And so this is just a nice little chart that kind of can help you draft or craft your problem statement. So it talks about who is in need and where are they and where is the problem evident and why does this problem exist and what is the problem and what evidence do you have to support your claim of the problem, and then what will occur if the needs are met and what will be different and how is the problem linked to your organization. So hopefully by maybe answering these questions, you would be able to start kind of getting a rough outline of your problem statement. And then obviously your assignment for this particular module is going to be to develop your problem statement for your grant proposal. I wish you the best of luck.